On everyone. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. Let's get started on the Bitcoin update. So let's go to the weekly. I don't think there's really anything on the weekly just because, yeah, nothing as of right now. Actually, we do have this weekly, right? This isn't valid, guys, so we can just delete straight that out. Looks like it ended up holding that daily there. Any other weekly levels we may be missing? No, we are not. So let's go to the daily. All right, I posted on the Telegram, right, guys? We all know what happens when we lose a daily uptrend, right? I mean, an uptrend in general. The higher the time frame, we expect a much more volatile move when the price loses the trend lines. In this case, the uptrend. Here you can see it lost this first initial support, and then the second one here, you can see it's attempting to hard close above it. And then finally, this origin support here. Now, as you can see, there's a large wick, just like how you see back here, because the interest in buying is still pretty high, right? You can see the reaction to that was this large wick, followed by this large, nice green candle wick. And here's the last green candle before that local downtrend, and that's where it was aiming for. Ultimately, a lower high, okay? Ultimately, a lower high, right? Um, it would have been a different scenario if it actually retested this, but it's a lower high. So in this case, you can actually array your downtrend, very local downtrend from this point to here. And now because we have the green candle confirmation there, we'll move that there. Um, we can delete this. We'll keep this daily here, this origin. We may need to update it to this last red candle there because it's beginning to hard close in the bodies of the candles. So we'll leave that right there. Regardless, it's the same region, it's tested. Um, but yeah, as you guys can see, that downtrend resulted in a nasty drop to the respective supports on the daily time frame, right? If you were relying on 4-hour supports, you would have had numerous 4-hourly blue lines, right? If you're breaking below a daily, just look at the daily, okay? Um, we'll go to the 4-hour because I have my 4-hour levels hidden, but for now, let's extend this to here, okay? Again, when you do that, that extends accumulation, right? That apex was right here, 611. Now the new apex is 619, all right? Meaning it takes, the longer the accumulation period, right, the further the apex gets, okay? So that's why when you see very, very large moves for some of these coins, accumulation tends to be very, very long. And that's the trade-off for having such a significant pump for some of these coins, right? Anyways, new apex is 619. We have Bitcoin enter an accumulation. This is support, that's accumulation. In this case, we would wait honestly until June 19 or the 18. Maybe you give yourself some time before that and set yourself up for a trade in some of these altcoins, right? A lot of these altcoins I'm pretty sure drop significantly, right? Because wherever Bitcoin goes, these altcoins will follow times two or more, all right? You have those one-off coins where they don't really move as much, but regardless, generally speaking, most of these coins drop pretty significantly as well. So with these coins dropping so significantly, right, and Bitcoin entering accumulation, altcoins will also enter accumulation, right? So we'll chart some altcoins and see what they're looking like and, possibly find some entries for you guys on, daily 4-hour time frames. As of right now, we can make this level here. It doesn't matter, it's tested. But ultimately on the macro time frame, it's still going to be suppressed by this daily downtrend. So even if it does break out of this local daily downtrend, it still has this to get through, and then even these to get through. So I think Bitcoin does need a bit of time, and during this time of accumulation, I think it's a great time to start strategizing into getting some of these altcoins. Okay, so that's on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hourly time frame. Okay, and this is why I like the 4 hourly time frame. The smaller moves make up the bigger picture, and this is exactly where the breakout actually happens on the 4 hour time frame. As you can see, this is like the perfect breakout below. Okay, out of that 4 hour time frame. Drops, we have this 4 hour support. That's also the daily here. We have another 4 hour support here. This origin 4 hour support did act as support for this red candle here. As you can see, it's hard closing above it, right? However, it did close below. Why? Because it was initially breaking a daily uptrend, right? It was I had it marked out earlier before, but it was breaking that daily downtrend. So if it's breaking at daily levels, guys, I wouldn't really necessarily go into the smaller time frames and rely on those supports. You have those very rare one-off times where they do, but again, majority of the time, if it's breaking a daily, go for the next daily support, right? Yes, the 4 hour did hold as support, right? It could have been a nice leverage, from a percent or so, but ultimately it just tanked down to that following daily support because that's where it's gonna go. We could delete these 4 hourly levels now because we have this daily that's intervening now. You want the bigger time frame. Um, we'll leave that 4 hour there for now. This is tested. We'll delete that. There you go. Okay, that's very closely aligned with that daily on the 4 hour time frame. I'm just gonna disregard that. Um, we also have this 4 hour here, but because the daily is also very closely aligned there, I just don't see a point of cluttering my chart. We'll delete this 4 hourly level here. If you guys can see it, it's a 4 hourly line there. All right, so it looks like we're really relying on these daily levels as of right now. If you guys want, you can do something. We'll do something much more local here on the 4 hour time frame. I don't think it's really necessary, but for anyone that's interested, that okay. And then on a very local time frame, that's the resistance, and then this is the current support. Right? So now you're approaching a very local 4 hourly time frame, but ultimately what you guys want to see is right, fill up the space a bit more as it gets into accumulation. So that's Bitcoin. Now let's look at DXY, right? Nice. So let's go to the daily actually. Let's go to the weekly. All right. So on the weekly time frame, guys, it ended up not. So there's this very, very volatile weekly candle here. There's actually 2 days left of this candle. So um, there's a possibility that it could start breaking, hard closing in the body of that uptrend. But as of right now, it looks like it's tempting to hard close above it. There's these weekly tests to these resistance areas, which is not a good sign for Bitcoin because if it's retesting these resistances, the more tests, the weaker it gets, so that when it does pump, there's an increase of a chance that it will actually break out to retest this daily downtrend or even up higher on this weekly levels, resistances. And that would in turn drop Bitcoin because wherever DXY goes, Bitcoin does the opposite. Crypto does the opposite. So on the weekly time frame, that's what it's looking like. So let's go on the daily time frame and see any particular levels. We can delete that. This level has been respected, and now it's hard closing on the body of this candle. That is now invalid. Here's that weekly, and then here's that daily. That was tested. So again, it's retesting tested levels. Okay. It's respecting this daily uptrend, so we don't need to evolve this just yet. As you can see, there's a nice perfect touch right there. Again, just like Bitcoin, this looks, DXY looks like it needs to enter an accumulation. It needs to fill up the space, guys, until it reaches this daily apex, and that's not until July 15 of time frame. So a lot of time. So while DXY enters sort of like an accumulation, maybe that would hopefully that gives Bitcoin also the time to enter accumulation information as well. Um, so yeah, so that's DXY, guys. Bitcoin. We're gonna get into the altcoins. So if you guys have any questions, just drop them down below. And again, as always, have a great night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.